Number 2, reading aloud your daily text.
一段大学的罗曼史。乔安娜在大学遇到了一个很好的男生保罗，且他们两个在大学期间相爱了。乔安娜因为生病住院了3个礼拜，保罗却在她住院期间劈腿。乔安娜决定和保罗分手，专心在课业上。后来她成绩表现很好，并且把保罗给忘了。
Hi everybody and welcome back to the second part of our class. It's reading time. Not quiet reading, but reading aloud. I'll be reading an article so you can listen to the proper pronunciation, and then it will be your turn so that you can practice your reading, speaking, and pronunciation skills all at the same time. Now here we go. Our article today is called A Romantic Relationship at University. Did you have a romantic relationship during university? Did the relation end well or badly? What happened? Now read what happened to Joanne and her boyfriend. Joanne was a vivacious, intelligent, and kind-hearted young woman who was, of course, very popular at university. In her second year, she met a wonderful guy called Paul. They both grew up in a small town and had a lot in common. They got along with each other really well and were completely in love, or so Joanne thought. Paul really liked to go clubbing. Joanne loved dancing too, so at first she was glad to have someone to dance with. Paul wanted to go clubbing every night, though. Joanne couldn't keep up with him. She tried to go out every night, but she got too tired, and in the end, she came down with a very serious illness. She had to stay in the hospital for over 3 weeks. Later, Joanne discovered that Paul had been fooling around with other girls at clubs every night. He thought he could get away with it because he checked in on Joanne at the hospital every day. He brought her flowers and chocolates and stayed for at least an hour to talk to her. Joanne began to catch on to what Paul was doing during the 3rd week in hospital. One of her friends saw Paul checking out of a very fancy hotel one morning. A beautiful girl was standing beside him, and she was dressed in clothes that you would wear to a dance club. Joanne's friend suspected that Paul had spent the night with the girl. The next time Paul visited the hospital, Joanne asked him if he had spent the night with another girl. He said no, but Joanne didn't believe him. It was a really hard decision, but she decided to break up with him. After Joanne had recovered from her illness, she thought the best way to forget about Paul was to get back to university. However, she found it really difficult to get down to work. Every time she tried to study, she started thinking about Paul instead. She often missed the deadlines for her assignments, and one of her professors told her she might have to drop out of university. The idea scared Joanne. She didn't want to end up with nothing, so she decided to start studying hard and spending more time with her friends. Joanne's friends tried to cheer her up, and it worked. Joanne got happier and happier, and soon she had forgotten about Paul. Also, because she had studied so hard, she graduated first in her year group. These days, Joanne doesn't think about Paul at all. She's too busy having fun with her friends and enjoying her successful career. That's it for our article. Very interesting. It's about a young lady at university who gets a boyfriend named Paul. And they had a great time together, going out dancing all the time. But she got sick and had to stay in the hospital for a long time. And at that time, her boyfriend was a tricky fellow. He went and found other girls to fool around with. Fool around with means that, well, he was doing things he shouldn't be doing with them. And he even stayed in a hotel with one. In the end, the girl broke up with him, but she missed him very much and couldn't get down to her work. She almost had to leave university. But finally, she improved and she focused on her studies and spent more time with her friends. She graduated #1 in her class, and she's got a great career now. So that's what can happen at university. Sometimes you might find a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you think is the absolute best, and it might not end up being the best. That's okay. If you're young, you can recover and you can move on. Don't worry about it. That's all part of growing up. So if you're like Joanne, and if you had a bad relationship, just move on and you'll be fine. Don't worry too much. That's it for our reading. It's your turn to read right now. So take this article and read it aloud. It's a little bit long, so if you can't get through all of it, at least try the first couple of paragraphs to practice your reading, speaking, and pronunciation. That's it for this part of the class. Let's go on to the next part.